guys, so today I'm going to be making a video that I have actually already made in the past. Some laws have changed, so I wanted to remake it, just give y'all an updated new version. So let's get started. Okay, so let's start off by talking about what a service dog is, or a service animal. So a service animal is defined by the ADA as any dog or miniature horse that is trained to perform tasks to mitigate an individual's disability. The ADA defines a disability as any physical or mental illness that limits one's ability to perform everyday life activities. What is the ADA? The ADA is the Americans with Disability Act of 1990. It is the act that has all of the laws regarding service animals. I am getting all of this information off of the ada.gov website. I will link it down below. If you have more questions, you can go to that website. They're not going to give you any wrong information, so definitely check that out. So, like I said, a service dog is trained to perform tasks to mitigate someone's disability. What are service dog tasks? The ADA says that the task has to be specific to help the person with their disability. So, for example, a blind person would have a dog that is task trained to guide them through busy areas and keep them safe from oncoming traffic and that sort of thing. Somebody with epilepsy or someone with diabetes would have their dog alert them prior to a seizure or to a high or low blood sugar. There are so many different kinds of service dogs. We have psychiatric service dogs also. You may have heard of PTSD service dog, autism service dogs, dogs for people with autism to help them through panic attacks, to do behavior interruption to help somebody from harming themselves or to go get help. But yeah, there are so many different kinds of service dogs. Guide dogs are the most commonly known service dog, but they're not the only service dog. Another thing is, can any dog be a service dog? Yes, any dog can be a service dog as long as the dog is trained to perform a task to mitigate a disability, and the dog is also trained in public access, meaning that when you take the dog in public, they are under control at all times. They're not barking, they're not whining, they're not having accidents all the time in a public area. They are not jumping on people, trying to beg for food, that sort of thing. Another question that people have is, do people with service animals have to carry paperwork everywhere they go? No. There is actually no such thing as a service dog certification or registration in the United States. Some programs will provide people with a certificate to show that this dog graduated their service dog program. They don't have to carry that around with them. They don't have to show that to anyone. It's just for them to frame and put on their wall. Yeah, businesses actually cannot ask to see any kind of paperwork from a service dog handler. So they can only ask two questions, and those two questions are, is that a service dog required because of a disability, and what task or work has the dog been trained to perform to mitigate that disability? So for example, if let's say somebody asked me that question, I would say yes, this dog is a service dog required because I have a disability, and she is trained in medical response and mobility assistance. They can't go on to ask what your disability is. They can't ask you to have your dog perform a task so that they can see it. They can't charge additional fees because of the dog. So, yeah. Now, why do so many people think that service dogs need to be certified? Well, if you go on Google and you type in service dog, the first like 50 things that come up are going to be service dog registry, service dog certification, register your dog today, take your dog everywhere with you. They're scams. They are fake registry and certification websites that anybody can go on and fill out information. They get paperwork sent to them in the mail, and then they think they can take their dog everywhere with them when they really can't, because that paperwork is meaningless. It doesn't mean anything. These websites have people paying anywhere from $50 to $200 for really nothing, because what they're getting is just a piece of paper that has no meaning to it. These websites are horrible scams, and yeah, some people do it knowing that they're scams and knowing that they can trick people, and some people do it because they really don't know that that is not the way to get a service dog. I can go on this website and I can fill it out, and I can submit a picture of my ketchup bottle and get my ketchup bottle certified as a service dog. Does that mean that my ketchup bottle is a service dog? No, it doesn't. Now, since we are talking about paperwork, another thing that I even was confused on until not too long ago was, do service animals or handlers have to have a doctor's note to get a service animal? The answer to that is no. You do not have to have a doctor's note or a prescription to get a service animal, although it is a good idea to consult a medical professional before you get a service dog. A lot of programs, also if you're wanting to go through a program to get your dog trained for you, they will require a doctor's note saying that you need a service dog for these reasons. But yeah, I think that people get that confused, because emotional support animals, if you want an emotional support animal, then you need to have a doctor's note. But yeah, so I did mention that some of the laws had changed, so I'm going to kind of bring that up and talk about that right now. So, emotional support animals and service dogs are not the same thing. Emotional support animals require a doctor's note, service dogs do not. Emotional support animals do not require any training. Service dogs need to be task trained and trained in public access if you want to take them out into public. Emotional support animals are just to provide emotional support with their presence, whereas service dogs are trained to perform tasks to help somebody with their disability. Emotional support animals do not have any public access rights. They are only allowed to live in non-pet friendly housing free of charge, whereas service animals are allowed to live in non-pet friendly housing free of charge, as well as fly in an airplane with their handler and go places in the public that the general public are allowed to go, such as restaurants, doctors' offices, amusement parks, hospitals, grocery stores, movie theaters, malls, etc. Now, another thing that I get asked is it illegal to distract a service dog? In a lot of states, it is actually a misdemeanor to distract a service animal. The reason that it is not okay to distract a service animal is because these dogs have been trained to help their handler with a disability. These dogs need to be focused on their handler in order to do their job. Now, if I have a bunch of people constantly coming up and talking to my dog Dallas and trying to pet her and calling her and making kissy noises and putting their hands in her face, that's constantly taking her attention away from me and defeats the purpose of why I have her. So that is why it is not okay to talk to, pet, or distract a service dog. It is best to talk to the handler if you have questions, or if you want to say something nice like, oh, your dog's cute, tell the handler, because the dog doesn't understand what you're saying anyway. So yeah. But that is all I have to say today. I hope I didn't leave anything out, but if I did and you still have some questions, again, the link is down below. Go check that website out. They're not going to give you any wrong information. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something new. Thank you for watching. Bye!